Hello everybody. Welcome to another day of epoxying with me. I've already painted these and I let a lot of things build up for epoxying, so I have tons to do. Hopefully I'll be more successful. If you watched my previous video, you'll see that I still have stuff epoxied to the table. So I'm going to be a little bit more careful to just throw the stuff straight in the garbage can when I'm done with using it so that I don't lose on my table space. I have it on the glass, and as I learned also, don't put stuff on any of your rocks or anything you're epoxying on the glass, as it's very tough to get them off. They do come, I did get all of them off except for a couple of these tiny little rocks here and this, and actually the magnet that got stuck if you saw a previous video, but that's okay. I purposely used this glass on this table as junk glass, so that's fine. So I'm epoxying a bunch of rocks, and this little guy that I used cement glue on to make a turtle, and another little turtle. And I'm actually going to be epoxying inside here are little stones, and I'm making dominoes. The game dominoes. I have each of the different sizes, each of the different counts of dominoes pieces in there, and they're laid out. Tiny, tiny pebbles. On one side I put light colored rocks. On the other side I put dark colored rocks, and I used just a long toothpick to sort them to the position that I wanted them, and then I'm going to put a tiny layer of epoxy on those. I'll probably put those in a separate video, but I'm still doing it today. And I am going to put epoxy in this mold that I filled with sand and little pebble stones. I tried making one. I happened to find this mold, and I thought to myself, at like a garage sale or something, or a friend was throwing it away, and I took it out of her garbage and said, hey, let me try that. So I did try it. That's what it turned out, but I kind of just did it, excuse my language, but half-assly. And I didn't put a lot of stones in there, just I wanted to see how the epoxy, if it pulled out. And it did, it pulled out just fine. That one I didn't sand down or do anything on the edges to make it better. So, but I'm going to do a second one here, and I filled that one up with sand and a lot more stone, so all of the crevices are filled. So, excuse me, let's begin. I am using the Tabletop Epoxy by Pro Marine Supplies. It's a 2-part epoxy, A and B. And this time around, oh no! I just knocked over my shark. Well, that's going to have to be another video, because in the next video with the dominoes, because I had them all placed in that shark thing so that all the crevices and the fins were filled. So, well, that's what happens, I guess. The life of an artist, if you will. Live and learn, and always making those types of things, at least I am. So I'm using this tiny container, and I put a little black line on it because I'm only using 2 containers. When I had planned this, I was going to use this container, but it stuck. I never wiped it off. So if you wipe your stuff off very quickly with hand sanitizer, just squirt some hand sanitizer and use a paper towel and wipe it down. And even if you use measuring cups, like plastic measuring cups or something, and if you use a hand sanitizer and wipe it down, you can reuse these things. I'm just a mess, and I still haven't gotten a hand sanitizer yet to do that cleaning. And I'm just using disposable stuff so that I can just move on. So I am starting with B, actually, because it's easier to mix A into B than it is B into A. And I'm going to fill this little container up to that line. Because I only have 2 containers, I'm going to have to pour them from this container into the larger one. mix it up, and then pour it back into the smaller container because it needs some air in order to cure. So you gotta pour it from one to another halfway through the mixing. And this stuff goes a long way. So this little tiny cup will probably be enough for all of this. That's why I have so many projects built up, is because so many projects and things undone is because of that. You're going to want to take, I'm going to move this A out of the way. You're going to want to take some kind of spatula. I'm just using disposable toothpick to kind of just scrape the rest of the stuff into the bowl, the bigger container. Okay, now I'm going to close up B. I'm all done with that. And use gloves. Don't skip this step. Disposable gloves. Don't try and use the reusable gloves. No. Get the disposable gloves. Trust me on that. I tried not using gloves. I've tried using the reusable gloves because I'm like, oh, less garbage. I'm sorry. I am an environmentalist. It's going to happen. You just can't cut that corner of this one. So again, I'm going to do the equal parts. So this one I'm going to put up to the line. And this one I think is hard to pour the exact amount because it's so thick and it just keeps pouring. It's hard to see. You kind of got to go slow because it's hard to see how much is going in there and when to stop. That's good. So this one you got to just be a little more careful with. And actually it's not up to that line. So here we go. And this stuff gets everywhere for me. It's true. I get it on the bottle and I will no longer be able to hold. Oh, shit. There it goes. I'll no longer be able to just touch that bottle. I don't know. Maybe if I get that hand sanitizer and wipe it down with some alcohol or something, it'll get rid of the stickiness. But even when I'm not epoxying and everything dries, that bottle is still tacky. Same with the other bottle, just because it seems like this stuff spreads everywhere. So I filled it up to the line, and I'm just yeah, I'm a mess when I'm doing this, but you know what? The results turn out fantastic. It does. It really does. So anyone who's really messy like me, don't be discouraged. Just, just use disposable gloves and use disposable stuff and put the stuff right back into the garbage can. A plastic lined garbage can. And now I'm mixing. And you'll see it's a little bit cloudy. That's normal. And I'll mix this. Don't mix it fast. And you'll see in other videos that I did this. Don't mix it fast, because it'll cure too fast. And I did that the first time. I was like, and it never really cleared up. So we're going to do this for a couple of minutes, and I'm actually going to pause the video while I do this for about 2 minutes, 2-3 minutes. Okay, so now that it's been a couple of minutes, it starts clearing up and you'll see bubbles forming in there. It's hard to see in the camera, but you'll see it. I'm going to pour it into this other little one. And because I had marked the line halfway, I did that purposefully so that the entire amount can go into this. So everyone likes these very fast videos. where it's like 6 minutes, and mine are really long, and I apologize, but I mean, this is the reality. This isn't, oh, I'm making this look pretty, and no, I'm going through the entire reality of this. So you see all of my oops, and you see my struggles, and it's not, oh, I'm making this so, look so easy. I mean, it's not brain science. Okay, so I poured it all in there, and I'm going to remember to cover up this other one, this A, because I forgot to do that before, and put those aside. And again, if I had some kind of hand sanitizer and wipe this, I could reuse it. And actually there's more in here, but I'm not going to. But what I'm going to do is just kind of lay it here so that all of the stuff gets poured to the side, and I can, whoo, shit, I just spilled some. When I said pour it to the side, I started pouring this to the side. I didn't mean to do that. So I'm just mixing this up a little bit further. It's got some bubbles, and that's good. Don't worry about the bubbles. Just once you put it on the rock, if you blow at them, they'll pop. The heat of your breath will make them pop. And so I've already stirred this enough. I think with smaller volumes, if you look on their website, the Marine Pro, and look at the directions, I think it's marinepro.com, tabletop, or /tabletop. It gives you directions, and it says 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. I think with the smaller quantities, and not the quantities you would use for a tabletop, you just don't need to stir it that long. Okay, so here it is. That is pretty much the hardest part. Now, I have these boards. I actually put screws through them. Nails will work too. I just didn't have enough nails, and when I was making these two, I didn't have any nails, so I just used screwdrivers. And then this one, I stopped by my dad's house, and ooh, look, you have tons of nails, and look, there's a scrap board right here, and I just kind of like pounded them in very quickly. Oh no, look at that. I gotta not epoxy that one because I need to wipe that clean. Darn. I'll just do another one. So here's my tree. Christmas tree. Yeah, it's early for Christmas, but so what I'm doing, I found like some people were using brushes, but because I have these disposable gloves, I'm just dipping my fingers in there, and I'm mushing it all the way around, and then I'm putting a little bit more on top. Because my last time I did this, which are in previous videos, I just thought that the tops needed a little bit more than what was on there. And just by doing this across those ones, I didn't have very much build, like there was pretty much next to no buildup at the bottom. But then there wasn't enough. There really wasn't too much enough on the top. So while I go through this, I'm going to just pull my thumb out of this one and put this video on pause so you don't have to see each little rock here that I'm doing. I'm hoping you get the gist. Okay, I'm back. I know you don't see the time that I'm pausing in between, but I finished all of these rocks. There's, let's see, with that little tiny bit amount that I had made in this, I pretty much almost filled this all up, but not far enough to where I couldn't stir it. And I got, including these that I just did the front, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 objects on these boards, epoxied, and I still have this much left. It's hard to see, but so while I put you on pause, I took the mold and I filled the stones back up into this mold. So at the very bottom of this is sand because the mold has a little bit more detail here at the bottom and the rocks weren't quite filling in, so I wanted to put some sand to fill in all of the cracks. And see, anytime I touch this stuff now, it's like sticking to my finger and it's hard to get back in there. And now I had all this extra, I have this extra epoxy, so I don't have enough of the epoxy to put in, to make the dominoes. So next time I will know to make less rocks with the same amount. I'll just keep that in mind. With the same amount of epoxy, that I would have to do a little bit less rocks. Shoot. Now I moved this and it kind of, see, there's like just epoxy in there. There's no rocks in the back fins here. So what I did is I brought some of that sand in from outside. Where should I put this for a second? I'll lean it. Ooh, look at this. The cup that is epoxied to the table here is making a good stand. Now I have some extra sand there, but I can't pick up the sand with the epoxy filled disposable gloves. So I'm going to take these off, and because I'm messy, the epoxy still got in there. So this is garbage. I should throw this away right now, but my garbage can doesn't have a bag in there right now, so it's going to just epoxy to the wood. This is a wood one. Let's see, what do I not want epoxied? Oh, to the sand. I just have this small little bag of clay sand, white sand. And I got a spoon here, so I'm just going to spoon some of the sand. Let's see if I can move the video so that you can see it better. And just fill in a little bit more. Now I'm just going to make more of a mess because I'm messy. And what I'm really trying to do is get this in the fins. There's some seed in my sand, some wheatgrass seed. I could grow wheatgrass. Okay, there's probably too much, but this is me exploring this idea. This is only the second time. First time I didn't want to put too much effort into it because I didn't know if it was really going to work with the mold, and it did. Oh shoot, this wasn't garbage yet. Shit. I wanted to use the rest of that to pour into the mold. So I'm grabbing another disposable glove. Excuse my language. I wonder if that's illegal. I wonder if I'll get the boot on this video on YouTube. Are you allowed to swear on YouTube? Okay. A lot of that extra resin got stuck to those gloves when I put the gloves in there. Boo. I'm just hoping that this will be enough and this will work. My husband's in the other room, and he's never been home while I'm making these videos because he's normally out at work, and I wasn't feeling well yesterday, so I didn't make any videos yesterday, and it's Saturday right now, I wouldn't really do this on a Saturday because these are round. Well, hopefully that'll settle in. It's not perfect, but maybe it's good enough. And maybe it'll just settle in. Because right now, it doesn't look like it. Oh well. So that might just have to be good enough for now. That'll be the second experiment because I happen to stick my gloves in there. I'm going to pick up my video camera here and show you a closer view of everything. So there's that, and here's all of the ones I just epoxied. And those are the ones that I epoxied the other day. So I hope you learned something. That is, oh, you can see my room here. You can see all of my art stuffs laying around. Haha, look at that. I had a corner. Those boxes are filled too. And those closets are filled too. And yes, I don't have regular closet doors. I have curtains for closet doors. Anyways, I hope you learned something, and I will be back soon. Have a great day.